Thank you for the support. The chapter recaps are a bit long because I enjoy covering the details. It may not be for everyone, but that's what I like. Thank you again. Now to the next chapter.
A massive gateway stands before them as countless players gather around, all waiting and searching for parties. Voices echo through the crowd as people shout over one another. One player calls out that this gate leads to a level 38 dungeon, warning anyone below level 32 not to bother trying to enter. At the same time, another player yells that their team needs a healer and tells anyone interested to send them a direct message. The crowd slowly parts as a group of elite players approaches the glowing portal. Onlookers whisper in excitement, recognizing the vice leader of the Everlasting Guild and the leader of the War God Guild among them. Their attention then shifts to the man walking at the front, as they wonder if he is the legendary Zero. Walking beside Zero is a female healer with bright pink hair tied in pigtails. She wears a white crop top and a short brown skirt. Her name is Tian Tian. Behind her walks a tall man in heavy crimson plate armor with a thick fur collar, carrying a massive polearm. Wu Haoyan is both a tank and a DPS. To the side, a younger girl with pink hair and a white tank top watches them with clear jealousy. She mutters to herself, wishing that these big shots would carry her through the dungeon. A nearby man hears her and jokes that only someone as attractive as Tian Tian would get that kind of treatment. At the edge of the portal, two battered warriors stumble out of the dungeon. One is a shirtless, muscular man barely standing, leaning heavily on his armored companion. His face is twisted in pain as he warns the crowd that the rats inside are level 38, enormous, and far stronger than normal players can handle. Despite the warning, Zero and his group move forward. On a tactical interface, their icons briefly appear as simple green figures stepping through a doorway and into the dungeon. Inside the dungeon, Zero speaks with Lin Tian, the magician with brown hair and glasses over a dark coat. Lin Tian explains that in these kinds of maps, damage output gradually decreases as monsters are killed in order to keep balance. Because of this, fighting in a team is far more efficient than going in alone. He also points out that while teaming up affects experience gain, it does not reduce abnormal energy collection. Wu Haoyan nods in agreement. Tian Tian smiles and says she will do her best. Later on, they are fighting monsters already. Golden light flashes through the cavern. Shards of blue ice explode through the air. The rats screech as they are struck. Floating system messages appear above the battlefield. Abnormal energy plus 2,368 shows as Wu Haoyan swings his weapon with crushing force, each strike leaving a trail of blazing orange flame behind him. Abnormal energy plus 1,580 shows for Lin Tian, who supports the front line, casting spells and keeping the formation steady. The group remarks on the 10 times energy gain they are receiving. In a nearby fight, Zero stands calmly as members of the Supreme Guild are blasted backward by a powerful shockwave. One of them shouts in anger, accusing the Everlasting Guild of being shameless. It's Lu Yao, the guild master. He sprints for his life, his ornate golden armor and flowing red cape streaking through the haze. Panic is clear on his face. He shouts that the Everlasting Guild used the map's weakening debuff to launch a sneak attack. He tells his guild members to stop talking and focus on escaping. In his thoughts, he curses his bad luck, thinking that without the map's aura weakening him, he would not be in such a desperate situation. From the shadows, an assassin dressed in dark gray clothes and a mask lunges forward, jagged dagger in hand, screaming for him to die. A massive explosion of yellow and orange fire suddenly erupts, throwing Lu Yao off balance. Zero and Lin Tian arrive at the site of the blast, looking down at the chaos. Lu Yao, soot-stained and clutching his arm, points toward them. He warns that the entire map is a trap. He explains that the Everlasting Guild ambushed multiple guilds while their damage was reduced, intending to eliminate every guild in Linhai City to secure dominance. Through the smoky haze, silhouettes of the attackers can be seen approaching. It's the vice leader. He questions if they are happy with the gift that their Everlasting Guild gave them. Seeing this, the protagonist Zero understands what's happening. Wu Haoyan questions which big shot would be here doing this. He comments that the vice leader uses dirty tricks and questions if he has any respect. He questions if the vice leader is scared to win in a face-to-face fight. But the vice leader just smiles and calls Wu a traitor, asking why he is barking like a dog. He smugly points out that Zero and his friends have been weakened by 60%, leaving them with little power to resist. Zero meets his gaze with a cold, bored expression, retorting that even 10% of his strength is enough to kill them all. Infuriated, the vice leader orders his men to charge, claiming the targets are only at 40% fighting strength. A group of low-level grunts armed with clubs and swords rushes forward. Zero raises a magnificent staff tipped with a large purple crystal. He activates a high-level skill, and a massive, swirling galaxy of violet energy forms at the staff's head. He unleashes a colossal beam of purple light that tears through the enemy ranks, creating a blinding shockwave. One of the attackers cries out in disbelief, his face illuminated by the purple glare, asking how it's possible for Zero's damage to be unreduced and why his power suddenly returned to normal levels. He reveals that buffs in secret dungeons can stack, and that repeatedly activating the 10x energy buff does not trigger any public announcements. More importantly, he adds, the buff also secretly removes existing debuffs from the user and their party. Suddenly, a powerful aura appears. A man with short, messy brown hair and a goatee appears and claps slowly, praising Zero's intelligence and clever use of the rules. Then a system box identifies him as Everlasting Guild Leader, Everlasting Phantom. Everlasting Phantom comments that Zero had found a way around the debuff and took advantage of the rules by buffing his team by 10x before entering. And then the gate's buff took effect and it was as if nothing had happened. The protagonist Zero comments that his people are just stupid and explains there is always a solution to all things, you just have to look. Suddenly, having heard enough, the vice leader orders his entire guild to charge, explaining that even if Zero is strong, they can wear him down through rotation battles using their superior numbers. In response, a terrifying, massive dragon made of dark gray scales and glowing purple energy appears behind him, with his skeleton warrior with glowing purple energy in front of him. Zero tells the guild members he will see this confrontation through to the bitter end. Moments later, his dragon lets out its dragon breath, while the skeleton executes a massive vertical slash of purple and magenta energy that cleaves through the air. When the dust clears, Wu Haoyan stands over a fallen foe, noticing a piece of high-tier loot, a glowing golden gauntlet, lying on the ground. He exclaims that the loot has been delivered straight to them. But in a flash of white light, a shadowy figure snatches the item. Wu Haoyan shouts to Zero that someone has taken advantage of the chaos to steal their spoils. Zero spots a silhouette vanishing through a swirling purple portal in the distance. But he closes the distance in a flash and lands in front of the thief. In that moment, Everlasting Phantom arrives and comments for the thief to hand over the loot and he might let her live. Surrounded, the thief sweats, seeing they have been cornered. The protagonist speaks up and comments that all he wants is for the things they took to be returned to his guild. But the thief suddenly uses a clone skill and dashes off in many directions, with one clone heading to each of them. Everlasting Phantom looks calm, but the protagonist is not impressed and will likely end this person in the next chapter.
Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed it, please subscribe and like. It really helps me out.